Hey, DINKY-DOO, folks. Very good evening to you. It's just me, SCOTTIE McCLUE, and we are, of course, live on the big one, on the YouTube. Excellent stuff. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 that we're live. And, of course, come and join us as soon as you possibly can. So much to talk about and so little time to do it in. This is 1 hour of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment for not just one nation, but for all the nations of the world. And we just need to get the message out there so that as many of you as possible can come and join us. And that's where you come in. So share, and tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Lots of new uploads for you on the YouTube channel. Amy has joined us. Hey, Scottie and everyone. Hi, Amy. Kareem's joined us. Hello, Scottie, one and all. Hello, Kareem. How lovely to have you with us. And a big DINKY-DOO. Good evening, Scottie. Frank, you've been up the whole day. You and I were in touch at, 4 o'clock this morning through the old uploads. Glenn's joined us. Good evening, Scottie. I hope you're well. Are you taking calls? Glenn will be taking calls in a few minutes' time. Tatswahi, good evening, Scottie. Tatswahi, always lovely to have you with us. And DINKY-DOO, I say to you, everybody coming and joining us. Now, I've had a really, really good week. You'll probably see that there's been an upload this morning because I was clearing out my drawers, as they say. Not an easy task for anyone. And what did I come across? But my father's little mouth organ. And I've done video to that effect. I think I've even got it with me. Yes, I have. So I'll show you that later. He died 29 years ago. I think it was last week, 29 years ago. And, the mouth organ disappeared. And we've got it back. Yes, it's still good. You're some man, Frank. Mum's in temporary respite. Glenn, she will be being well looked after. This is good. Professor Nupty, I've been waiting ages for the 9 o'clock start, and you arrive at 9:01. No. Nupty, 9 o'clock on the dot tonight. So your watch is needing sorted. This will not do, Scottie. Keep strong, Glenn, says Kareem. Thank you, Kareem. Appreciate it. Good evening, Scottie. DINKY-DOO, and a very good evening, everyone else. Charlie, thank you. Everybody watching, if you haven't subscribed, do so. And, of course, I know you get that everywhere, but this is different. This is totally different. There, Susan's joined us. Hi, Scottie, Tatswahi, and Kareem. Hello, Susan. Always lovely to know you're there. I tell you. Now, who else have we got here? We must be the only two people that get up early every morning. Oh, no, Frank. I think there's a whole world there. Because sometimes I'll do a live TikTok. I've never done as early as, 4 o'clock this morning. I usually do maybe 6 o'clock, something like that. And there's a huge number. You also pick up everybody in America who hasn't gone to bed yet. I love the mouth organ. I play Billy Joel's Piano Man on harmonica. But the best harmonica I've heard is the wonderful Stevie Wonder. Charlie, I don't play the harmonica, as you can see from the video. But this thing is absolutely brilliant. Tatswahi, I didn't get to bed until 7:30 a.m. Tatswahi, you're burning the candle at both ends. I tell you, I have a good mind, Scottie, to phone up and speak to your superior. Yes, you can. There's no superior. Scottie, the video of your mouth organ was entertaining. Thank you. Kareem, it's just a bit of fun. Every time I put on television news, it's now only on for about between 30 seconds and a minute. And if the first story is a downer, then boom, gone. Because all that negativity and stuff that's going on in the world, you and I haven't caused it. Oh, this blooming chest. You and I haven't caused it. So I'm afraid we're not going to be putting up with that every story. And then you flick through the channels, serious news, death, serious illness, trouble, blah, 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 problems, all that stuff. That's not what the television companies should be about. They should be about keeping our spirits up. If you look back to World War II entertainment, World War I entertainment, music hall, comedy, everything they could get out to raise the people's spirits. That's what we're needing in our television companies, or give it up altogether. And just watch Scottie McClue on YouTube. So that's why I thought the Muthi was such good news. Guys, down to the bottom and a thumbs up, please. Bottom left. I'll phone you after. I need to clear something up. Oh, what have you done, Numpty Head? I heard an old video you put up from the radio show this week. Some old codger from Yorkshire threatening to get you fired. Absolutely hilarious. Touch me, hey, they all did. And I was only so fortunate. I had brilliant bosses who backed me to the hilt. And you had all these idiots going, you need to sack him, you need to sack him. And eventually, I think it wore down the new bosses. And they didn't realize they were being told to sack me because I was causing so much damage to other businesses in the radio business. You see what I mean? They thought, they're all changing. They're all changing to this Scott FM, this Scottie McClue. So then they would have been needling away at people. You need to sack that guy at night. Yes. I tell you, and they weren't bright enough to think, no, that will not be happening, I'll tell you. IT, Amy, yes, absolutely, you're quite right. At first, I thought the old codger was joking. He almost has a seizure. Oh, yes, he shouldn't really have been on, that old guy. My spelling's gone to pot. Oh, really? Yes, well, no, we don't want any pot on here. Who is pot? I tell you, we'll maybe get a wee call from you guys in a wee while. And I'm going to sort out it when they, change the phone provider. There's a plan in order so everybody can get on the telephone to Scottie McClue. I'll just move myself over so I'm, what way do I go? That way. So I'm between the pictures. Is that better? There you are, give you a sense of balance. We don't want anybody getting earsick. Earsick, do you get it? We're on air. We don't want anybody getting earsick, I tell you. So we'll be having a call touch for here, and we will see what is what. Now, marvelous things happening. I must say, most of us, I think, are going towards America politically now. I rewatched last week's show. You're getting many more viewers after the event nowadays. Well, touch for here, yes. For some reason, it's very difficult to tie this up with all the movies. So I think maybe the algorithm, see what I just did there? Oh, yes, all the in chat. I'm not just an athlete, you know. Black belt in karaoke. I think the algorithm is thinking movie channel, comedy movie channel, and they're forgetting about the big man popping up to say hi. But now America's discovering McClue, and it seems to be very, very favorable. So as you say, we might not get everybody on here live, but if everybody keeps sharing, we'll get it going, and then we'll put it up. What I might do, Tups, is change the evening. So I was wondering if we'd be better on a Sunday evening. I used to do a Sunday evening on my Facebook channel, and it was huge. Thousands watching. But you have to keep it up. And then, of course, the lockdown thing came, and we went on to YouTube. But it's a long road to furrow live. So I think YouTube, yes, you can store your lives, but it's a long way to get the audience. Come and join them on YouTube live. And I do put out lots and lots of reminders. We put one out just to say a couple of minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, that sort of thing. Are you ready for calls, Scottie? Well, Glenn, since it's you, Do you like my wee stand? Since it's you, Glenn, I think we should take a call and see what is what. Right, so I'll open up the lines. Give it a go, Glenn, and see how we go. Now, guys, it goes a bit loud just when the caller arrives. So there you are. So give it a go, Glenn, and we'll see if we can get you on for the chit-chat. You've got the number 0141, yes, 628 9795. Yes, best known telephone number in the country. I hope we don't have to change it when that particular provider closes in May, I think it is. So there you have it. I tell you. TALKSHOW, yes, and you come across very, very well on the lives. Would you be allowed to put clips of Scotch and Rye on your channel? It just depends, Frank, on the copyright setup. It's a bit of a minefield. You've got to negotiate it. And of course, I've negotiated it up until now. But you'll notice my channel isn't monetized. So the likes of doing this broadcast, I make absolutely nothing from it. So you might think, well, you're mad, Scottie. But no, I like the people to get together. We're used to getting together on a Saturday night. There we are. TALKSHOW says, I check my phone. I call you more often than I phone my mum. You're live on Scottish Phone-In. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie. How you doing?
Glenn. DINKY-DOO, la.
DINKY-DOO, Scottie.
Now,
yeah, like I was saying, my mum's going to...
Well, I was going to say, let's get the serious bit sorted first. How is your mum?
First time she came out of hospital to go into this respite, she was a bit hesitant, you know, because it's a different surroundings kind of thing.
What age is she, Glenn?
She's 76.
Yeah, not that this has anything to do with it. People do different things at different ages, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're stubborn people at times, aren't they, as they get older?
Well, now the thing is, everybody will be asking for your mum, but probably nobody's asking for you to see how you're coping with everything.
Well, that's it, Scottie, and it's...
You know, they'll be going, how's your mum, Glenn? How's your mum? And then you think, well, I'm getting by, you know.
You get by as best as you can, to be honest, yeah.
Well, you have to, don't you? I mean, that's the challenge.
It's survival of the fittest at times, isn't it?
Survival of the fittest, yeah. It goes back to, what was his name? That, you know, the theory, the guy. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, you know the one I mean.
Yeah. Have you been in respites before, Scottie, to visit people?
Yes. I've kind of done the lot. I mean, I won't give you all the detail and everything, but I've kind of done the lot. And it's seeing how good a job a lot of people do.
I think a lot of times they've got their hands tied, haven't they?
If they can keep her happy and see that she's, you know, she's all washed and dressed and personal care and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, sometimes I've gone in to visit people and they're sitting there having the time of their lives, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, they're looking absolutely super and they're getting fed. The place is toasty warm. See, that's another thing, you know, if it's toasty warm.
To be fair, it's a better situation than at home, really, isn't it?
Well, yes, that's the thing, because when they're at home, you think, what if she trips? What if she falls? Yeah. What if her heart, you know, gives trouble?
Yeah.
All that stuff, you know, accidents and things, and you think, I can't be there. So you'll be a little bit anxious about the distance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, not a little bit, a huge bit. You know?
A massive...
What's your own setup then, Glenn? You wouldn't be able to move back or get her over near you? Or...
It's doubtful, to be fair. It's South Yorkshire to Midlands, Scottie.
That's a big one, isn't it? And you've got your setup and the little ones. I mean, what are the girls now? Are we talking 3?
1 and 3, yeah. It's coming
1
to
and
2.
3. See, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 little ones, 1 and 3. Amazing, isn't it?
It doesn't seem 5 minutes since I spoke to you on New Year's Day, does it?
5 minutes you spoke. You said we've just, my missus has just given birth to a little daughter.
And
3 years old.
brilliant stuff, isn't it?
Well, as I say, I get my friends and I think, how's the little ones, you know? And they go, little ones are at university. And, you know, they say, well, Margaret, she's 30.
It's amazing where time goes, Scotty, though, isn't it, to be honest?
Oh, I can't tell you. I mean, it's yesterday since I were in Sheffield on Hallam Radio.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's actually, oh my goodness me, this can't be right. 1997. So what, you do the math, what's that? 25?
28 years.
28 years. Now it's yesterday, so I don't know what I've done with that 28 years.
Absolutely not.
I've been down to shop, I bought a quarter of sweets, I've had a cup of tea, and that's kind of it, really. So where's that 28 years gone? You
still keep in touch with people down Sheffield, then, Scotty?
Oh, yes. Oh, listen.
You do?
I got sad news because one of us passed away. I used to go, there was a little, where I stayed, there was a little pub. Surprise, surprise. And I kept out as much as possible because, you know, you can't be having too much of a refreshment and trying to get through 3-hour radio shows. Anyway, long story short, I would pop up and typical Yorkshire, right? The way this is how they welcome you. This is why I was made an honorary Yorkshireman. I went in pub and there was an old newspaper. I got myself a pint. And I don't bother with it now, but I got myself a pint, lovely Yorkshire bitter. And there's an old newspaper, and I was like flicking through it. And I thought, I don't know any of these people, and it's not right to go and put myself on them, right? And this voice goes like this, Glenn, you'll know this when he goes, are we not good enough for the summit? And I looked over and I said, oh, yeah. Somebody had been talking to, and he said, come and join us, right? So I'm over, and of course, being Yorkshire, never mind what anybody does for a living, if anything, or whatever. Not bothered. Nobody's bothered. This is Ian, and this is John, and this is, oh, hey up, Scotty. And that was it.
Brilliant.
You see, and there was a crowd of us used to just, and first thing you did, so you're in straight up to bought you round. Didn't matter what, you didn't go, what stage are we at and what's everybody having? Straight up, got you round, got sat down, you know. Then big lad would stand up, are we having a drop more? Just great, carry on. And that's when I just fell in love with the place. Plus, all your lovely pork and roast beef. And, oh, jeez. Don't stop.
A certain sandwich establishment, you know where I'm on about.
I know exactly where you're on about. I was telling a friend about it tonight. And I can remember a guy came to do some joiner work in the house. Lovely man. And I said, I'm just going to nip out and get a bit of lunch. Oh, yeah. I said, will you take you know, like a sandwich? Oh, that would be lovely. Anyway, as you know, in Sheffield, a sandwich, the biggest stotty you can get your hands on, stuffed full of roast beef and all that, you know, want sauce on that, sir. Then the big sharp knife through it. He's sitting eating this and he's going, this takes some eating this, doesn't it? And he was like a really fit guy. He was a runner and everything, and he's sitting and he's working away at this beef sandwich. And I think he said, I'll take the other half home.
Them sandwiches are just to die for, aren't they, Sky?
Oh, just loved it. The rest of it. And you had to make a decision, didn't you? Do we have pork or do we have beef?
Absolutely.
You know, and the pork, of course, sauce and crackling. Oh, yes, every luxury, love, thanks.
with a bit of gravy and a bit of applesauce on it.
Yeah, you pop that all on, lovely.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
So there it goes. And as I say, it doesn't matter who anybody is or what anybody does. The Yorkshire people will not put up with rubbish food.
No airs and graces, is there?
The number of times I've, excuse me, love, can change them chips. They're a little bit soggy. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, none of you, oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Got away with just a big bag of grease, you know.
That chip is still going on Erie's Road.
Love it. Absolutely love it. You know.
You know where Whitehorse pub used to be?
I know exactly where you are. I can see it. And I've just been talking about it half an hour ago.
Yeah, brilliant.
So there we go. Glenn, love to you. Love to your lovely family. Love to your mom.
It's been a pleasure, Scott, yeah.
Always a pleasure talking to thee.
I'll keep in touch anyway, big man.
You'd better. Dinky-Doo. Love you.
Dinky-Doo, Scott. I love you.
See you, Lala. Night-night. That's our Glenn. Hasn't been on for a while, but very, very nice to hear him, I tell you. Right, let's get down here. What do we got here? You ready for calls, Scotty? Yeah, Glenn, we've done that. Would you be allowed to put clips of Scotch and Rye? So we don't know, Frank, about that. It will be copyrighted, I'm pretty sure. You know, heavily copyrighted, but some people let you use it if you're not making anything out of it. I get the odd halfway complaining, you know, they complain to you. And they go, oh, so many commercials. I had to say to a guy, well, the alternative's no movie. What did you pay for that movie? Nothing. And they complain about, they get a channel like Scottie McClue's, and they complain. Guys, I want you to go down to bottom left, thumbs up, please. There we go. Micro railways, 00 gauge, 00 gauge, we said, but we are causing the problem. Bleak Hall, how lovely to have you with us. Tell us more. Charlie says, lol, Tops. Tops says, I don't know if you heard me there, I check my phone and call you more often than I phone my mom. Neil says, my friend became a dad last night. His wife will go tonto when she finds out. You little Scottish funny, who's that? Ha!
No, it's not Wolfgang, it's Numpty.
Ha! Numpty, it's so good to hear with me, Davy, last week.
So good. So, of course it's so good to hear from you.
It's always good to hear from you.
Why do you think I phoned up?
Sometimes I think you get a wee bit lazy about ringing.
I'm fed up. I'm fed up with you sleeping in, Scotty.
No, hey, listen, don't joke. 7 o'clock one Saturday, I'd done a lot of work. Well, for me. And I thought I'd have a lie down. Next thing, 2 minutes to 9. No! Numpty he'll go, Raj.
You better believe it. I would have been on the phone if I kent the number for the show. Now then. Wait, I need to clear something up here. Now, Scotty, are you listening to me, Scotty?
No, never listen to you, remember. That's the rule.
I just need to make sure, because you came what you're like. You like butting in now and again, but when you go silent, it's like something.
Oh, it's a nightmare when you go silent. Wait, let's try this before you start, Numpty. See, when I was on Red Rose Radio, and Tommy Cooper had just passed away live on stage, remember?
I remember it, Scott. I was on a bairn then.
Yeah. Well, of course, you'd be young. But anyway, we had this guy on.
I was still at primary school.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we had this guy on, and he kept going on and on. So I just went quiet. And he was going, I know you're there, Scotty. I know you're there. And he kept going on like this, and I never said a word. And I let him do. We went a couple of minutes, then I just cut him off. Anyway, this old lady phoned and she went, oh, thank God. I says, hello. She says, oh, thank God, love. She said, I thought something had happened like the night Mr. Cooper died. She thought that Scotty had pegged live on air.
Oh, Scotty, we couldn't have that. I'd be on the phone saying, what's happened?
You'd be on the phone trying to revive me.
Absolutely. I'd send it a search party just to make sure.
You'd be saying to the emergency services, I'm still talking to him.
Now, Scotty, I need to clear something up.
Oh, you
You're going to
certainly
let
do.
me finish.
Yes, you speak and I'll listen. There's a change.
Or else you'll get two black eyes.
Two lovely black eyes. Oh, what a surprise.
Absolutely. And they're free charge. You don't have to pay for them.
Only for telling the man he was wrong. He got two lovely black eyes.
Absolutely. Now then, you got to let me finish. I've shut my windows, by the way.
You need to shut your windows, actually. But even then, I've noticed the draft comes in.
Aye, but the reason I shut them is in case you start, Scotty, I don't want you disturbing my neighbours.
We don't want the neighbours in, especially in a highly populated area like, is it the city?
Absolutely. We're near the Commonwealth Pools.
Aye, you see, up the Salisbury Crags.
And I live behind hedges.
Yeah, well, you'll have to, the problem that you'll have there is, you know, the neighbours will be very, very posh. And they'll be saying, what was that racket Numpty had last night?
Listen, Scott, I'll tell you a quick funny story before
you tell me the other funny story.
Aye.
Right.
Well, it's not funny, but anyway.
All right. Oh, well, we'll not have it then.
Right, listen to this.
Go.
Listen to this. You listen to me, Scott.
Go.
Right. Mind how I says I live behind hedges, right?
Right.
I was at the main street outside my property.
Yes.
And I was on the other side of the hedges.
Yes.
And this woman walks past and she says, my God, son, you've got lovely hedges there. And I just said, thank you very much. She didn't again, it cost me a $5 a month.
Oh.
To maintain, you know.
You watch your
$5
money.
a month to maintain good hedges, Scotty and Salisbury.
Well, you said you lived outside hedges. I thought that was like a superstore.
No, Scotty,
right.
I'm talking about behind the bush.
Right, got you. Hey, hang on a minute, Numpty. General Sup, everybody. General Sup. Numpty Heat. General Sup.
I've nothing to sup here, Scotty.
Don't believe it.
Trust me.
All right, I'll take your word for it since it's you.
Can you not tell I'm sober? I've nothing to sup.
General Sup. You should always have a wee one ready.
Not even a fish tea.
Oh, a fish tea. Oh, I tried that. Tastes terrible.
It did.
I'm going back to the Darjeeling. I love that. I've been telling that.
Aye, you like my jokes.
I love your jokes, and I've been giving you the credit. I said it was a guy on the phone in.
Aye, the guy in the phone in. Now listen, about the guy in the phone in.
Right.
Talking about the guy in the phone in, that's me, right? I want to clear that up. Can you remember you came on one of your random pop-ups? It was when Rangers were playing the Fenerbahce.
Yes.
It was a football night, Scott.
Yes.
I think it was a Thursday.
Listen, you can't not have a football night now. It's on all the time.
Well, listen, you'll be glad to hear that I listen to the show and know what's the fit.
Quite right.
And a text and a message.
Yes.
This is what I need to clear up, Scotty. I told you, right?
Right.
Hello, Scotty. This is how it went. It went, hello, Scotty, you know, what the formalities at the road. I said, I'm parked up here in Silver. Now it's quite a popular spot.
You did.
And then after you read it, you said, behave yourself, Numpty. Well, I'm pleased to say I did behave myself.
Well, you must. Silver House. Very posh.
I just like to sit there and watch the planes fly.
Just due off the ferry road.
Aye. Well, you ken your way about.
Ken my way about. I'm not just an athlete.
No, that's not what I was wanting to clear up. What I was wanting to clear up is, after you read that message out, I went and posted something else, but you missed it.
Oh.
But Susan didn't miss it.
Oh.
And Susan answered, but she got it wrong, Scotty.
Right.
So this is what I'm wanting to clear up.
Right, well, we need to clear this up, Numpty. We can't have this.
The question was, I've just updated my CV. Which one is correct? I'm a pilot or I'm a voiceover artist?
Right.
And Susan answered, Scotty. Guess what she answered?
God,
well,
you're a voiceover artist.
Oh, you got it wrong. I'm actually a pilot.
You're a pilot. Well, I've
Yes.
always said you were quite fly.
Well, listen, I'm pleased to say I've got 3 hours flying experience under my belt.
As a passenger?
No, as a flyer, as a pilot.
Oh, a pilot.
I told you.
Right,
I
got
told
you.
you I'm a pilot, Scott.
How fabulous. I love
Don't
it. So
lie
you've
on
got,
TV.
so 3 hours. So how many hours do you need to go solo?
What do you mean, how many hours? You just buy the thing at the shop and pilot it. I'm a drone pilot, Scott. Does that clear up?
That clears up. I've got you. But you do have your certificate of airworthiness and all that, yes?
I'm registered on the Civil Aviation Authority database.
Yes, and you've got to be careful that you're not flying it near the police or the army or all that.
Well, Scotty, it's an expensive hobby, right? And the wisest thing to do, if you don't want to lose your drone, get yourself clued up on the rules.
On the rules. Otherwise, I take it the police can just take it off you.
Confiscate it.
You don't want that. The first time I saw somebody flying one, I was fascinated, and they're wonderful. And I said, and they are the future. I mean, this is what people don't realize. All these tanks going into war and stuff. Drones are the future. They're the ones that are taking folk out.
Well, you think about it, Scotty. The future, you're right, because they are going to soon be delivering like your parcels.
Yes.
And
your takeaway food. Your carry-out. I wonder how a wee drone.
Hold on, I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry.
I say, right, you'll get your parcels, you'll get your carry-outs, and you'll get your drugs. All delivered by drone.
Your drugs?
Drugs.
Oh, your drugs. Right.
You tell what the crooks are like.
No, you mean your prescription drugs, of course.
Well, who knows?
Who knows? Your prescription that you've ordered through the pharmacy, through your GP.
The crooks will find a way, trust me.
Oh, they'll find, well, no, I think they're already finding a way. I'm sure that, I mean, this is all above board. The governor of one of the prisons was talking about this.
Aye.
You know, that they're going over the wall and delivering stuff with these wee drones. But how can you have 4 wee plastic propellers? Is that what it is?
Well, Scotty, can I...
How could they take like half a dozen, a 6-pack of lager?
No, listen. I can clear this up for you, right?
You better.
I can clear this up. Right, as a professional drone flyer myself, and I use expensive kit, right?
Indeed.
I'm guided by GPS.
That's
how I can hover in a specific spot.
Yes.
And when I want to move left, I move left. But see these cheap drones, Scotty, you get them for about £15–20.
Ah.
Cheap rubbish, right? They're cheap rubbish.
But they'll not last.
The propellers with a motor attached. As soon as you turn it on, it just flies off.
Right.
You have no control over it.
Right.
But you know, these crafty ones, right? They're quite happy to lose a £30 drone by flying it over prison and war, because they kind of not getting it back.
Right.
But you wouldn't send a £300 drone over a wall.
No,
because it's too expensive.
But also, tell me this, Numpty Head, right?
Aye.
I mean, this is fascinating. This is, for me, this is what a proper talk show's about, right? Somebody phones in with something different. Now, while we've got you here, I think it's only fair that you allow me to spear the guts out you, as we say in Scotland. Ask a few questions.
Indeed.
You know that is that in Edinburgh when people say dinner start spearing?
Aye.
Don't be asking questions.
What's your question?
So and then they always used to say that, oh, I'd spear the guts out you that you. No. So my question is, say for instance you were using your drone for something naughty. And,
indeed, I know what you mean.
Right,
yes,
and something naughty, and the police got it
Yeah.
and then looked underneath it or wherever it is. They could see the number of the drone, the certificate, all that stuff. They would know who had it.
Aye.
Unless
Scotty,
these people are taking a chance and no registering them, or unless they're buying them from some foreign place and no telling anybody.
Scotty, the rules are, right? If you accidentally, remember the word accidentally.
Accidentally,
right?
yes, I understand.
If you accidentally obtain private footage,
Right.
then as soon as you become aware of it, right, you are by law required to delete it.
Right.
You are not permitted to publish or use it in any way.
Right.
The privacy has to be respected, full stop.
Right.
And your duty, if you follow the rules, your duty is, once you are aware, you must delete.
So if you flew that somewhere and there was like a meeting of generals and you got a sight of it in a window and you thought, oh God, I can't have this. I didn't know about it. It was an accident,
Yeah.
you know, but I can't obviously show anybody this. So they've got a wee camera on them. They've all got cameras.
They've got cameras, but Scotty, the thing is, right, my passion's flying, not filming. Filming takes up too much battery time.
Right.
Now,
I notice estate agents are using them now.
Aye. But the thing is, my passion's flying, right? I like to fly like Tom Cruise.
Right.
As if it was, what is it? Maverick.
Oh, Maverick. Oh, Top Gun.
Aye,
Top Gun.
That's me. Aye. I like to fly zoom in high speed mode.
Top Gun.
But I like to watch the drone in the sky as it's doing its flying.
Right.
I don't like looking at the screen.
So wait a wee minute. So have you got sight of the drone all the time?
Yes, well, by law, your drone has to always be in line of sight.
Right, so how far away could it go, in theory?
Well, in theory, Scotty, you could actually fly it at night, but you would have to light your drone up, and light you can see further away.
And is there any noise coming off the motors, or are they silent?
Yes, there's a noise that comes
There's
up.
a whir.
It's like a hoover.
Oh, right, it's as loud as that.
But see, when you spin the propellers a lot faster so you can take off.
Yes.
It's like a hoover going into superpower.
Oh, right, like a helicopter type thing.
Just one of these stupid noises. But listen, Scotty.
No, this is absolutely fascinating. Now, we're not finished. We're not finished.
I know we're not finished because I'm not finished.
No, there's a lot to go here. So I know that you and I have had a run-in over this before, but these YouTubes, we have plenty of run-ins, but never a bad word, never a cross word. We never go to sleep on an argument. Now, have you noticed that these auditors that I've got no time for, that try to get views by cheeking up to the police? Now, I think we need a law, because see when you and I were bairns, if you cheeked up to the police, you'd have got a clatter around the side of the head.
That's right.
And I'm no joking. They'd have said right in the back of the van, son, but now they're filming it all. They're going, I'm filming for my protection. And then they're cheeking up to the police. Now, I think there needs to be a very clear memo round all the police saying, look, if they're just filming, don't even speak to them. Don't give them the chance, right? But surely, with drones coming in, could these so-called auditors use drones?
Right.
Now, in fact, I've seen them do it. And they go, I'm going to fly my drone. And the security people say, no, you're no. And they go, oh, I am, I assure you. Well, we'll get the police. Well, you get the police. There's no law against it.
Well, Scotty, similar similar thing if a tourist comes up and says, I'm going to take a photograph on your from your land, for example. Say you were up at Edinburgh Castle.
Right.
And you went through the gates.
Yes.
And you were on their cobblestone land.
Yes.
And you say to the wee lassie in the bothy, I'm going to take a photo. She says, no, you can't unless you pay £5 because you're on our land.
Yes.
Right? Now, airspace and land are two different things. You might have control of the land, but you don't have control of the airspace.
Right.
I'm coming for you, Scotty.
Right. I've got it now, yes.
Now, they might have rules saying you can't take off or
you
land on my
you can't go up the Esplanade and fly your drone.
No,
but
Scotty,
you could fly your drone through the Royal Mile over the castle.
Let me finish or you'll get two black eyes.
Right.
Now, if I was on your land and you said you cannot take off and land here, I would have to abide by the rules. But I could stand outside your land and stand on public property and take off and land for that pavement and fly over the castle because the airspace is different for the land. That's how they're getting away with it, Scotty.
That's amazing.
They're doing nothing wrong. So they've no right phone the police. They should be taken away and lifted for wasting police time.
No, I mean, I think a lot of the time the police waste their own time by bothering with them.
No, Scotty, are you listening? The police should be out in the streets with their batons, bashing the troublemakers.
Bashing the baddies.
Giving them a good boot up the backside.
The bottom, yes. Now, tell me this.
Pestering people with drones.
Right. Don't you start because we're not finished yet. We've a lot to do.
You can shout what you want.
Yeah, no, we've a lot to do. So the estate agents, say you were selling your house, right? Or your flat, they would put up some drone footage and they say, beautiful house for sale in central Edinburgh, close to the castle, and they would show the castle and the Royal Mile and all sorts of things, Arthur's Seat, stuff that's nowhere near your flat. And they would say, isn't it, this is all situated? And then they would have a red arrow pointing down to where your house is, with all that, a lovely landscape of Edinburgh. Within walking distance of the city centre.
Scotty, I think it's time for a sip because I've actually got an energy drink.
Good boy, an energy drink. Yes, I've changed my energy provider. Here we go.
I'm trying to open it with one hand and it's stuck. That's your fault.
Oh, it's my fault. That's lovely. General sup, everybody. General sup.
I've got the phone in one hand and I'm trying to open a can of energy drink in the other hand.
Well, put the phone down and open your drink.
It fell over.
Don't ever hand anybody a can when you've dropped it.
And the thing is, I'm sober.
Yeah. So
so
that's us up to date. We're flying a drone then.
Aye. As long as you ken the rules, you can get away with it. If you don't ken the rules, then the police have got you under their jurisdiction.
That's what they need. We need this. We need the police because we pay for the police. And I get annoyed at these so-called auditors wasting the police's time. But the police need to know what's lawful and what's not.
Indeed, Scotty, that's where the auditors come in. They're educating the police.
Yeah, but what they need to say to these guys is now, don't start cheeking up. Don't talk when I'm talking, right? All that stuff. Or I'll take that phone off you and you can have a discussion with us in the back of the van. And all that kind of stuff. But also, I think the police need to say, what's he doing? He's just filming, ignore him. And these auditors would soon, if there was a memo went round all the police, then, which I'm amazed that haven't, and said, no, just ignore them. These guys are just trying to get clicks on YouTube,
Aye. But apart from that, at least they're making an honest living, Scotty. What would you prefer? They were on the dole?
Well, absolutely. Well, they're probably on the dole as well, I would think.
Subscription telly and the blinds.
Aye, all that, the blinds doing and all that. Now, right, I think you've said more than enough for one night.
But Scotty, there's always a but before you go.
Of course.
Am I right in hearing that you were talking about improving the phone with a new provider?
Oh, yeah, no, the phones are going to shut down, so this provider won't be providing the phone service.
Right.
Right, so we're going to move it to somebody else that will, and I'm just hoping that the number will be transferable and everything. I think it is.
Right. Well, listen, I'm interested in sponsoring your show to help you get this new phone up and running.
Oh, you're some man. No, you've done more than enough. You're the most generous person.
I'll pay the lovable lassie's wages for a week.
You are the lovable lassie.
The lovable laddie.
Lovable. You're the wizard of the big switchboard.
Don't misgender me or I'll have you in court.
Oh, you'll not get misgendered. No, absolutely. So now you've given me 2 black eyes and now you're misgendering me.
And they're free, Scotty. The black eyes are free. You don't have to pay TikTok.
Black eye.
Right, are you going to do me a favour?
Aye, off you go, Dinky-Doo. And listen, thanks very much. That was very interesting.
I can.
Aye, you talk a lot of nonsense, though.
So do you. Now, away you go.
Dinky-Doo.
Bye.
That's our enough to eat, guys. Very, very good. Very interesting. The drones. Oh, my goodness. Right, what have you lot been saying? Scotty, #1 van driver here, Scotland and the West. How you doing? Jerry, Dinky-Doo. I'm not insulting in any way, but Numpty, I guess it's got more air miles than pilot miles. Charlie, what was the pet shop in the flesh market close called? And why, says James? Memento Mori. Everyone deserves a little respite, says John Doe. For Glenn, that's going back a bit now. Gosh, look at the time. Amazing. Susan's there chatting to Jerry. That's excellent. Jerry's been rebuilding his fence after the storm. Not so good. The guy auditing is always arguing with the police. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's not. Absolutely, Amy. Yes, you shouldn't argue with the police. The police, you wouldn't have dared look sideways at them when I was a wee fella. And a few trees down after the storms, Suzanne. Yes. Know your rights, says John Doe. Yeah, it's all right to know your rights, but it's not good to cheek up to the police because they work for us and do a very difficult job. Still no David again this week. No, I think David's, I hope he's okay, but I think he's maybe in a cream puff about the fact that we wouldn't let him complain. What's the subject tonight? Drones. Yes, we've been, Numpty was droning on. See what I just did there? Hi, Scotty. Hi, Jerry. Dinky-Doo. But it was very interesting. And he's become a drone pilot. And you do need a certificate of airworthiness. You're live on Scotty's phone, and who's that?
Oh, Scotty, it's also him. Please don't shout, please. I'm very fragile.
Are you fragile? Have you got a wee bit of a fat heat on you?
Oh, my goodness. Normally, I'm good with a hangover. I'm an experienced bruiser.
Oh, yes.
My evil neighbours dragged me out to the garden at about midnight last night.
Oh, listen, it's always somebody else's fault. I remember a friend of mine said to me, now help yourselves to gin and tonic, Scotty. So I was pouring a substantial, and then I said to the next day, I think it was about 4:30 till I was well. Well, not well, just able to function a wee bit, limited functionality. And I said, you poisoned me last night, you fiend. He went, no, you poisoned yourself.
Oh, the best booze is free booze. I've been to, in amongst my life, when I relate it nowadays, it does seem extremely improbable, but instead of having a pension, I've always tried to do interesting things. So for a year, I worked in the movies, just as the very lowest step, you know, a runner, but I went to quite a few rats.
There's nothing low about you, so don't start all that.
Well, it was when I was at university. I was there.
And there are no low jobs. I've done the lot: driving the baker's van, cleaning the lavies, pulling the ropes on the boats. Not a problem. Loved it. Loved every second of it.
On topic about what we were talking about there, about filming and drones and so on. As you know, one of my other improbable jobs was I was a private investigator for a long time.
You were a PI.
Yeah, and there are rules on what you can film and where you can film and so on.
Right.
All my colleagues were ex-cops in the surveillance squad. I don't know if you know, but detectives, virtually no detectives do surveillance. The surveillance squad's very small, so the head of detectives, the chief detective at Police Scotland, may not have ever done surveillance. The surveillance squad's very small.
Well, I would imagine in real terms, surveillance, I mean, we're not going to too much because there's some pretty sensitive stuff involved,
yes.
but I would imagine that there's only certain times when you really need to call on your actual surveillance. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's a massive undertaking. People don't realise that, the cops, this is back in the day, but I'm sure it hasn't changed, but the cops won't even start surveillance unless they've got a minimum of 13 people involved in the follow.
Well, have you ever watched my movie, The Fourth Protocol?
Oh, yeah, I saw The Fourth Protocol years ago.
Well, it's on Scottie McClue's favourite movies, because I just absolutely love that. And, you know, it's a beauty. And, of course, every single bit of it's great stuff.
Well, I remember the first time I was cited for court, because you submit your video evidence after you've done the surveillance, and then months later you may get cited for court as a witness just to testify to the footage you've taken. And I was really alarmed the first time it happened, because my gaffer phoned me up. I was on a job in my car, and the gaffer phoned me up and said, "Oh, you're cited for court tomorrow." And I said to him, but he told me the job, and I said to him, but that's an open and shut case. You know, she was clearly doing stuff that she claimed she couldn't do. It was a big personal injury case. So I was really, and my gaffer said, "She says it's not her in the video." And I was really alarmed at that, because you can get into difficult legal territory if you're following somebody for 4 days and there's no
reason. No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think what's incredible about it is that you're getting yourself into a legal minefield. I remember a guy telling me he'd had his wife or his girlfriend's surveyed, shall we say, surveillance, and the PI was just furious with them, because he was so angry he blew it by phoning her up and going, "What do you think you're playing at?" You know, and the guy said, "Ah, all that work, you've just wasted all that work."
Well, I was alarmed, but my gaffer just said to me over the phone, "She hasn't seen the video yet." Right? So what this woman was doing was she would be walking around with a neck brace and 2 crutches and the whole thing, and she'd be going to her lawyer like this, and she'd be going to medical appointments like this for years. But then she'd be out in the back garden juggling chainsaws or whatever, you know, just completely fine. And so my gaffer said, "She just hasn't seen the video yet." So this woman will have gone to her lawyer that she's built up a relationship with over many years of this case going through, always with a neck brace, always with that. And then the lawyer will put on the DVD and play it. And she's out the back juggling chainsaws.
Well, I remember a manager catching a guy. This guy was hobbling about with a stick, taking his time and everything. And then the manager tested him. He goes, I think that's somebody trying to break into that big such and such car outside. And the guy leapt off his chair and ran off.
Well, the day when I went for the interview, and I had no experience at all of anything. They actually advertised in the paper. They were looking for a woman because these guys all look like Judge Dredd. That you put them in a car and a council estate, and everybody knows because you just look
right away.
You know? But they were looking for a woman, and they got me. That's a whole other story I won't go into just now. But you know, I had a point then that suddenly gone. It's my blooming hangover. That's what it is. I definitely had a point that I was going to go into.
Yeah, you were going to tell me about the you two guys sitting in the car.
Yeah, and then see, I've got mayfly attention tonight, Scotty. I do apologise.
No, you never apologise, honey. You don't need to. You're a top man.
Yeah, well, you know, I've always got so many things to say, but I should. There was but basically there's various regulations and so on, and you don't want to be filming the wrong person.
No,
but
these so-called auditors, I draw the line at them cheeking up to the police because the police don't deserve that. And there was one, the guy would not stop going on, and it's a script they're running. And he would not stop going on at this policeman. And I thought, that is very, very bad news. Now, I never, ever saw that clip again. So I would think the police themselves have said, you really better be taking that down.
Yeah, well, you know, see if a cop tells you to do something and you just do it. If you're filming it, you can argue the toss later.
Yeah, but if you've nothing to hide and the cop goes, could I see your license, please? Of course you can. You know, could you identify it? Yes, I can identify it myself. So a lot of it's for the camera.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And particularly in America, you get people filming cops with guns. Listen, if an armed police officer tells me to do something, I will do anything.
Listen, I'll tell you, see, when it was at the airport down south, and the boy walked past me with a gun, and I kind of looked over and he smiled and nodded. So I just smiled and nodded back. I thought, don't mess about with these guys.
Well, I'll just very quickly, I can see the time, but I was told I was so lucky to have these stories from some surveillance cops that they would be able to tell me. And they told me about a strike that they did on a real bad man. And what they did was they positioned a van in front of the target vehicle, and then the commander and the driver of the cops are behind the vehicle, and they ram the back of the target vehicle into the van, right?
Wow.
Smash it, and then 12 cops and machine guns come out both sides. Now, the driver of the car was a surveillance cop, but he wasn't an armed surveillance cop. And he'd asked the commander, so what will I do once the strike happens? Once, you know, so he used to drive the car right into us. And he says, what do I do? And he says, no, don't do anything. And then he said, this is a cop told me that when all the armed cops came out of the van, there were laser sights going in his eyes, and the cops are shouting, armed police, put your hands on the dashboard. And this cop was so startled and frightened, he put his hands on the dashboard.
Listen, Tops, I'm going to have to dash, lad, but lovely hearing you. And I hope you recover soon.
Listen, you're right, Scotty. I need to knock it in the head, but I'm not gonna.
No, do a McClue. Just say that's enough of that. DINKY-DOO, bless you. There we are. That's our Tops, folks, and we are sadly out of time. What a fantastic show tonight. That's just what I think makes a really good talk show. Just folk talking. Good night, God bless, DINKY-DOO and ta-ra-la. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Ta-ta. One more chance. Ta-ta.